Hello there, Tom from History Delights and Kevin behind the camera.
Hey.
Say hello, Kevin.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, I'm sitting here with Roger and Bill, and we've got a Civil War camp set up outside the building here. Kind of a rainy, nasty day, so we were in here singing some songs.
Good soldiers will come inside.
Good soldiers.
If they can do so.
If you have the chance, you got the fireplace, but no fire yet.
Yeah, no fire
You
yet.
need to get on that.
We'll start that.
Okay,
We'll start that.
okay. We were kind of talking about what the importance of music was to the Civil War soldier. Of course, every regiment would have a fifer and a drum corps and that, and some of that was used for communication. However, soldiers didn't have much to do when they were sitting around the camp, so they would sing songs and listen to music and play whatever musical instruments they could for entertainment, wouldn't they? So would they would gang up together and just break out in song?
Well, yes, indeed they would. But a lot of that went back to even before their military service.
Okay.
Because at home, in order to entertain the family members and to occupy one in the evenings, why it would be customary to get through and probably read the Bible. A lot of homes would maybe only have one book. If they were lucky enough to have one, it would have been the Bible.
Right.
To read some Bible verse, to do some songs, to do things around the campfire, or around the fireplace, whatever the case may be. And so when the soldiers left their homes and were in camp together, why they all had a common ancestry, if you will, and the musical aspects of singing around the fire and with family members. And this was a continuation because, of course, in the Army, you're one big family as well.
Sure.
A lot of the songs, there were over 4,000 songs, to my knowledge, written during the 4 years of the war, nearly 4 years of the war. And of course, you know, A and B sides for the guys who remember vinyl records.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There were A sides and there were B sides. Some of the songs weren't all that good, but a lot of music written during that era. And of course, you can imagine because of the war, a lot of it would have been patriotic music. And of course, the Victorian concepts and precepts of home and family were a lot different than, in some respects, than what they are now. And Tom, you could give and probably have given really good programs and seminars on that. And so a lot of the music also would have been related to being separated from the family and the anticipation of returning back again to the family and addressing the pain and the grief of family members not returning.
Sure. Yeah.
To assure the family that, and sometimes this was done musically, you know, the thought was there. The thought was there that these soldiers that they were singing about in the song In the Faded Coat of Blue, for instance, and some of them were dying under good circumstance. And that meant what, Tom?
Yep.
That meant
Then they had a good death.
yes, they had a good death, and that
Yeah.
means they'd be reunited again with their loved ones on the other side. And I often myself think that, and now some of the elite units, the Foreign Legion, and probably even some of our units, elite units, sing around the campfire, or at least sing when they're marching and things. And all of that has a purpose too, of course, to take your mind off of the drudgery, you know.
And keep the rhythm.
And keep the
and
rhythm going and things. But the singing around the campfire, I think, I know this never happens, so nobody needs to tell me, oh, that didn't happen. Well, but with Christmas or the holiday seasons coming on, I can always visualize around Christmas time the Battle of the Bulge and some soldier like me sitting in a foxhole with the wind whistling around the back of your neck when it's snowy, you know. And way off in the distance, a radio playing, I'll be home for Christmas.
Right.
Now I know that didn't happen, Bing Crosby, but every time the winter comes, if I'm sitting there kind of looking goofy like I usually do, probably that's what's going through my head, you know. So I think that a lot of that, Billy, you probably have a good opinion too, that with the advent of radio, World War II, and radios being more common, and of course now with all of the things that we have to entertain one, probably a lot of that singing doesn't happen. They would sit and look at some person online
Right.
performing something.
Well, I mean, you brought back, going home, or the family receiving news that they lost their loved
Yeah.
one. And I think you can read letters from the Civil War, letters home, and read some from World War II sent home, and they say the same thing.
Yeah.
The food sucks, I
Yep.
want to be home.
Yeah.
It's cold. I'm tired.
Yeah, officers don't know nothing.
And officers don't know nothing, so the story never changes, does it?
No, it doesn't. And when the boys were running around with clubs, why, probably they had the same gripes. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
They would grunt a little differently than we do now, but I'm sure that they.
Well, I'm going to put these two gentlemen on the spot, and I'm actually going to participate to everybody's detriment who's watching this. Do we want to try the first and second verse of "Faded Coat of Blue"? That's what we were just kind of singing and up on, and so this
Or the
talks
first and
about
last?
just the first and second.
First and
Good.
second,
That's
okay.
kind of the two I know.
Okay.
Unless you want to do third and fourth on your own, that's fine. We'll participate in one and two. You sing third and fourth verses, and we'll all do chorus.
Or you guys could
Or
build
we'll
those.
all do third and fourth.
That's the quickest way to learn is to do it. You know.
Okay, so
But
this
I
is kind
stumble sometimes on that
Yeah.
song, even though I bet I've done it 100 times. You know.
of, don't do this at home. Leave it to the professionals. But so what do we learn from this story, the faded coat of blue?
Well, even in today's army, it can be possible that you might go several weeks or longer and not have a change of clothing. Everything, especially if you're 11 Bravo, if you're infantry, and a lot of those boys are out in the mud and blood, you know, that they can't go home and take a shower every night and do all of those things. And so the same applied with the American Civil War soldiers. They had one suit of clothing that they wore, and that was their bed clothing at night, and that was their duty clothing in the daytime. So you can imagine if you had the same clothes on for a month or so, that when you got a new uniform, it would look pretty spiffy. And after 2 or 3 weeks of being in the rain and in the dirt and in the sun and all of the things that one would experience being in the infantry or in the field in particular, why the dyes and things were all natural dyes, and so they looked pretty nice when they were new, but the things that we just mentioned would make them fade out real quick. And so the song "The Faded Coat of Blue" talks about a soldier that had been out campaigning for some length of time, and well, the song tells the story.
It tells of a father's heartbreak, and the son basically got buried in a grave, an unmarked grave, which happened an awful lot.
Which happened an awful lot, and that was the hardest thing, wasn't it, Tom?
Yeah,
for the Victorians to deal with.
They
was
couldn't
not
have a
having-
good death because they
No,
could
yeah.
not properly grieve.
Right. Yep.
So anyway, we're gonna try to fudge our way through this, and so Roger, whenever you're ready.
My brave lad sleeps in his faded coat of blue, in a lonely grave unknown, lies the heart that beats so true. He sang fate and hungry amidst the famished brave, and they laid him sad and lonely within his nameless grave. No, the bugle calls the weary one. Rest, noble spirit, in thy grave unknown. I'll find you and know you among the good and true. When a robe of white is given for that faded coat of blue, he cried, "Give me water and just a little crumb, and we mother, she will bless you through all the years to come. And tell my sweet sister, so gentle, good and true, that I'll meet her up in heaven in my faded coat of blue." No more the bugle calls the weary one. Rest, noble spirit, in thy grave unknown. I'll find you and know you among the good and true. When a robe of white is given for that faded coat of blue. No sweet voice was there to breathe out a mother's prayer, but there's one who takes the brave and the true in tender care. No stone marks the sod o'er me, lad so brave and true. In his lonely grave he sleeps, in his faded coat of blue. No more the bugle calls the weary one. Rest, noble spirit, in thy grave unknown. I'll find you and know you among the good and true. When a robe of white is given for that faded coat of blue. Long, long the years have vanished, and though he'll come no more, yet me heart with Charlotte beats with each footfall at my door. I gaze o'er the hill where he waves his last adieu, but no gallant lad I'll see in his faded coat of blue. No more the bugle calls the weary one. Rest, noble spirit, in thy grave unknown. I'll find you and know you among the good and true. When a robe of white is given for that faded coat of blue.
Thank you so much, Roger. Bill, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody.